All right, there's a really helpful tool that we use in the industry, and that's a start button. So what this is just a really simple button. This one's made by Mac. It's got a high current flow switch inside of here with this rubberized grip to keep the current flow, so the heat away from your hand, as well as just any potential or a voltage away from your skin contact kind of thing, so make it nice and safe. But what this tool is really helpful for is we can get the engine to rotate or crank without needing to use the key switch. And on an electronically controlled engine, the reason why that's helpful is when the key switch is off, fuel will not be delivered, and so the engine shouldn't start. And so what we can actually do is use this guy and connect it to our battery positive. So I'm just doing that off shot there a second. And when we take this other lead, so this button essentially just connects the two leads together. When we take this other lead and we actually power something that should be or receive power. So what the plan here is that the power comes off of the battery positive. It's coming through the contacts on the switch. It's actually bridging over in the LEDs and goes to this contact that I have on our relay. And the other side of the relay is going to ground. So essentially the reason why this light turns on is it sees that there's a path of ground through the load, but there's not enough current flow to actually turn on the load. And so looking for this light on the handle is very important, because that tells you, hey, I'm actually going to turn something on. Now, what I connected it to was the relay for the mag switch of our starter. And so when I hit this button, I'll be taking 12 volts from the battery below, delivering it through my tool, through this start button, to the control wire, really would be like the 85 terminal of a relay, and it'll go to ground through the 86 of the terminal, and my engine will crank. So I'm going to do that right now. This can be a really helpful tool because it allows us to crank the engine and perform our diagnostics all as a single technician. I don't need multiple people, and it eliminates any communication issues if I were to talk to someone else to crank. Now, there is also a communication issue that shows up when I use a button like this, and that's that I make sure that there's no one else working on the engine around me that would be injured because I'm cranking it. So because I'm not at the key, somebody may assume, well, the engine's not going to be run right now, and as soon as I start to hit this button and the engine cranks, they may be caught off guard. So communicating, making sure we have a safe workspace is really important.